Hello everyone, I am your biology teacher, and in this video you are going to study chapter 1, Plant Life, the leaf. And let's learn about what are the learning objectives of this chapter: the plant, root system and leaf, types of leaves, venation and functions of leaves, modification of leaves in insectivorous plants, and vegetative propagation in leaves. We see a variety of plants around us, and some are small and some are big. And some plants bear flowers while some do not. And there is a large variation we can see in the leaves of the plants. These variations, all plants have some structural similarities also there. So, students, we are going to discuss something about the plant and the parts of the plant and types of leaves, functions of leaves, etc. So look at that. The first figure is mentioned here, figure 1.1, that is showing the root system and shoot system of a flowering plant. And this is a mustard plant, and root system and shoot system also mentioned here, and the labeling parts also there. And in shoot system we can see bud, flower, fruit, leaf, stem, etc. In the root system only roots are there. Then the first part is there, the root fix the plant firmly into the soil, and they absorb water and minerals for the growth of the plant. So this is the function of root, and there are two types of root system we can see in plants. And the name of the root system are taproot system and fibrous root system. And figure 1.2 is showing the types of root system. First one is a taproot system and second is a fibrous root system. And in taproot system, one single primary root is there. Look at the figure, and that elongates and further branch out into fine branches. So this type of root system we can see in roots of pea plant, balsam plant, petunia plants, like that. So next one is a fibrous root system. And in fibrous root system, a cluster of roots, group of roots that is rising from the base of the stem. Example, roots of grass, wheat, rice, and onion plants. So these are the features of the root and two types of root system. So we are going to the next topic now, that is the stem. And we know that a stem is the main part of a plant that usually grows above the ground, and it bears, that means we can see branches, leaves, fruits, buds and flowers are in the stem. And the stem holds the plant upright and exposes the leaves to sunlight and air. And it conducts, that means the stem conducts water and dissolved minerals that's absorbed by the roots to other part of the plant, and this is transporting food prepared by the leaves throughout the plant body. And now one more thing is mentioned here, that is in figure 1.3, types of stems. We can see different types of stems in different plants, and the types of stem are soft stem, hard stem, hard or woody stem, and trunk. So the types of stems, that means soft stems, these stems are green in color. And generally that we can see in herbal plants. Hard stem or woody stem, that stem is rising from the base of a plant, and this will form a bush. And most of the shrubs that have this type of stem. Trunk, that means the stem of a tree, that's called a trunk. And it is a thick, hard, and a strong stem that is covered with a bark. And the bark is, what's the function of bark? The bark protects the inner part of the trunk of a tree. And the next topic is the leaf. A leaf is a flat, thin, usually green structure. And this leaf is rising from the node that is present on the stem. A typical leaf has the following main parts. Look at that. What are the main parts of a typical leaf? And look at the diagram. This is the diagram of a leaf, and its different parts are labeled there. And one by one, stem is there. And from the below, axillary bud we can see. And from the axillary bud, petiole is started to grow there. And in the middle of the leaf, we can see midrib and veins, and leaf margin is also there, and at the tip of the leaf we can see leaf apex. So these are the main parts of the leaf. A leaf base means the part that is joining the leaf to the stem at the end of the petiole, that is called the leaf base. The next is leaf stalk, and the other name of leaf stalk is petiole. And it is a short, narrow, and basal part of a leaf which hold up the leaf blade and connect it to the stem. Next, axillary bud. Axillary bud is next, that is another part of next part of a leaf, and it is a type of bud that develops at the axil of a leaf. Next is leaf blade. Leaf blade, that is the flat, expanded, and thin part of the leaf. It is called the leaf blade or lamina. And next part is a leaf margin. And the edge of the leaf we can see a leaf blade, and this is called the leaf margin. And midrib is also there. The leaf blade has a thick midrib. Along its center, it extends from the petiole to the leaf apex. And the last one is veins. Lateral branches of the midrib are called veins. And the arrangement of veins in a leaf blade, that is called venation. That is one of the topic is mentioned here in this chapter. And the next topic is types of leaves. Leaves may be two types, simple and compound. Simple leaf means a simple leaf has only one leaf blade or lamina. Example, mango, papaya, etc. Look at the figure. One simple leaf is there, and that is the mango leaf, and this leaf has only one leaf blade. Then next is compound leaf. A compound is one in which the leaf blade is clearly divided into many distinct parts, and these distinct parts are called leaflets. And example is here neem. Neem leaf is an example of compound leaf. Look at the diagram that leaflets are showing. The next topic is venation of leaves. And two figure is also mentioned here. First one is parallel venation, and that is that we can see in banana and other plants also. That means leaves of maize, leaves of fan palm, etc. And next is reticulate venation. That is an example of leaves of castor, peepal, and mango. So the arrangement of veins and veinlets on the leaf blade, that is known as venation. And two types of venation we can see in plants, that is parallel venation and reticulate venation. And example of parallel venation, that is in banana leaves and in reticulate venation, people or mango. Then the next topic is functions of leaves. And we know that in the chapter, these three main functions are mentioned here. And the first one is manufacturing of food. And we know that simply we are calling the process is photosynthesis. That is manufacture of food. And next one is transpiration. And the third one, that's the last function, is gaseous exchange. And the first one, look at that. What's the meaning of manufacture of food? The main function of leaf is to prepare food for the plants. And the equation is showing this. That means the leaves are using carbon dioxide and water to prepare food in the form of starch. Then oxygen gas is released in this process. And as the green leaves prepare food for the plant, so these are called, that's what they are called. That means leaves are called food factory of the plants. Okay, that means the process of that the green leaves are preparing food for the plants in the presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, and that process is called photosynthesis. And in this process we know that the leaves are using carbon dioxide and water in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll, that's producing starch and oxygen. The next function of leaves is a transpiration. Transpiration means the process of releasing of excess water, extra water by the plant through the tiny pores that is present on the lower surface of the leaves. And these tiny pores are called as stomata. That through stomata, the plants are releasing excess water, and that process is known as transpiration. And we know that as a result of transpiration, it keeps the plants cool. And the last one is gaseous exchange. Gaseous exchange means during the day for performing photosynthesis, and plants are taking carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and releasing oxygen through stomata. And plants like other living organism also, human beings also, are respiring continuously day and night. In this process of respiration, they are taking oxygen and releasing carbon dioxide through the stomata. And the next part is modification of leaves. Modification of leaves means we know that besides the primary function such as photosynthesis, transpiration, and gaseous exchange, in some plants the leaves are modified to carry out some specific functions. And such modification of leaves are mentioned here. And the modification of leaves are leaf tendrils, leaf spines, and scale leaves. And the first part is here leaf tendril. And in many weak stemmed plants, the whole leaf or a part of leaf that gets modified into thin thread like oiled structure, that is called a leaf tendril. And this tendril providing suitable support in climbing of the weak stems. For example, the upper leaflets of the sweet pea that is modified into tendrils, that is showing in this figure 1.11. This is the leaf tendril of a pea plant. That means we can see that the upper leaflets of the sweet pea that's changed into leaf tendrils. Next is the leaf spines. Leaf spines we can see in cactus plant. Leaves of certain plants get modified, and that's provide protection and reduce water loss. We know that cactus plants is generally that's growing in a desert region, so the plants need to reduce water loss. So these leaf spines are protecting. These leaf spines are helping to reduce water loss, and the same way that's providing protection also. And next is a scale, and this leaf spines, no, that's also protecting the plants from the grazing animals like goat and sheep. And we know that the cactus plant is growing in desert areas where there is a scarcity of water, and that's present. So These leaf spines are helping for reducing water loss. And the next modification of leaf is scale leaves. Scale leaves of ginger and onion bulb is an example that is mentioned in the figure. Scale leaves are thin and dry structures. And this is usually brownish in color, or sometimes that's in colorless also. And they take up in the function of protecting axillary bud that we can see in ginger and in onion. They are storing food prepared by the plant and become thick and fleshy. Thick and fleshy scale leaves are here, that's labeled in the diagram, and scale leaves we can see in ginger also. So the next topic of the chapter is modification of leaves in insectivorous plants. And you know that pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, and bladderwort that are growing into the soil, but these plants are not getting enough minerals from the soil, especially nitrogen. So these plants need extra nitrogen. That's so that plants are feeding on insects for obtaining minerals. For this, they are modified into trap of the insects. So insectivorous plants such as pitcher plant, Venus flytrap, and bladderwort are adapted to grow in soil which does not have enough minerals, especially nitrogen. So the next one, the pitcher plant, that means the lamina of the leaf is modified into a trapping device. That means a trapping device we can see in pitcher plant. And that trapping device is known as pitcher, and the leaf apex forms the lid of the pitcher, and the petiole is there that coiling like a tendril. Then whenever that the insect will enter into the pitcher, the lid will be closed and the insect gets trapped, and this trapped insect digested by the juice that is secreted at the bottom of the pitcher. The same is happening in the Venus flytrap. And in this plant, the edges of the leaves have long and pointed hairs we can see. And the lamina of the leaf that is divided into two parts. Here also, when an insect visits the plant, the leaf suddenly closes and the insect get trapped and digested by the juice that's secreted by the leaf. So next one more example is there, that is bladderwort. And look at the diagram, that figure 1.15 is showing that different plants and their modifications of leaves in an insectivorous plants. First one is pitcher plant and second is Venus flytrap, and last one is bladderwort. In bladderwort, the leaves of the bladderwort are highly segmented and some segments form a bladder or a bladder like structure. So that is helping to the that is helping to the insect gets trapped. Next is the last point of this chapter, or last topic or learning objectives of the chapter is vegetative propagation. That means vegetative propagation in leaves. So this, that means vegetative parts of that means in some plants we can see a new plant can be developed from the vegetative parts, and the vegetative parts are root, stem, or leaves, and this is known as vegetative propagation. And some plants such as bryophyllum and begonia. Now here in this figure 1.16, leaf of bryophyllum that is showing vegetative propagation. And look at the diagram, from the leaf of bryophyllum, new plants are arising, new plants are growing, and these produce adventitious buds on their leaf margin. When the leaf of such plants that fall on the moist soil, and these buds develop into a new plantlets, then these leaves of such plants or the leaves of such plants are thick and fleshy. Look at to the diagram, this bryophyllum leaf that is thick and fleshy, and that is providing enough food and water for the new plantlets. Whenever this plantlet will become mature, that will be detached from the leaves, and that will lead to a that will start a new plant. So the leaves of bryophyllum that's develop an adventitious buds that we can see on the margins. When they fall off the moist soil, they develop into a new plantlets. And this is called a vegetative propagation. So this is the last topic of the chapter. And thank you.